In our last video, we learned how to configure our hem.data mini data logger so that I can accept Wi-Fi and cellular. We turned off the cellular for now, and we're going to focus on Wi-Fi. How would that work now? You're wondering, well, if I drive my vehicle around, how is it going to transfer Wi-Fi? Well, it'll transfer once it comes into range, is how this will work. Now that we've got the Wi-Fi set up, let's configure a test bench environment. So we're going to need to go ahead and have a domain name. If you're already working with a company, request that they give you either a domain or they give you a subdomain. So for example, let's say hem.domain.com. I myself, I've already gone ahead and purchased one, which is edudevteam.com. And then go ahead, leave the port at 80. If you want to worry about security, worry about that once you get it figured out. You can change the port later on. That's not a big deal. Next, go ahead and change this out. I know this is what the default is recommended as, but I actually recommend you do a / what vehicle name you're working on and then followed up by up.php rather than uploads, because it shortens the length requirement or maximum character of 25 characters. So I'm going to say Honda _CRV / up.p, oops, there it is, PHP. And then I'm going to go ahead and save. Next, what I need to do is I need to map my newly purchased domain to a hosting account. Now, as for the hosting account, I recommend you go with something like DigitalOcean. You can use AWS or Azure, but DigitalOcean is pretty straightforward and simple. Now, I've already gone ahead and I've logged in. And the reason why I say it's simple, so let's jump back real quick. If we go to products and click on one-click apps, what they have is the option to install a LAMP server and many other different stack environments. And so LAMP is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Linux being the operating system, which most websites are hosted on. Apache is a server to allow for file servers. MySQL is a database environment or relational database environment, and PHP is a programming language that usually interacts with servers. The two things that we only actually care about are the Apache and PHP. In truth, you could actually run this on .NET as long as you have PHP installed. Now, you can rewrite the script in C#, but we're not going to get into that. So go ahead. Once you've logged in and you've created your account, I recommend you go with like the $5 a month account, something simple. Go over here and create a new droplet. So it'll come over here and say, okay, so you want to do a new droplet. Instead of having to configure everything yourself step by step, you could do it through Ubuntu. If you're pro and you've done this 100 times, that's not a big deal. It'll probably take you about 10-15 minutes either way. Instead, what I recommend is you click on the one-click apps menu here, and then you go down to where it says LAMP. Now, there's two versions of it. I don't know why. Just ignore that. Go ahead, select LAMP, scroll down. Make sure you select the $5. You can do $10 if you want. It's not a big difference. And then go for, I don't know, leave everything else out. It doesn't really matter. Backups, add a volume. Select the country you're closest to. That way you'll have quicker access to it. And then go ahead and create an SSH. It's not required for this test environment. You can work with the root environment, but I highly recommend you create a new SSH for your local computer environment, which will actually make it more secure when you're doing your test so that less people have it, because SSH has the encryption often with the SHA-256, and it's like this long, horribly looking hex hash key environment that most people can't memorize unless they're super genius. So go ahead, do that. Go ahead and create it. Once you're done creating it, go through the process of mapping your domain name. So you can route an existing domain name right here, and you can configure it, everything up, no matter what it is. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and log out. I don't need to do that because I've already configured everything myself. You're going to go and make sure that your domain has been mapped. So if I type in edudevteam, it's proven that my domain has been effectively mapped and it is now hosted on DigitalOcean servers. Next, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to log into my server. So for this example, this is the IP I'm mapping to. I'm using my root account because I want to do a test environment. Again, within about a week, this is going to be gone and no one's going to be able to access it. So I don't really care. Then it's going to require my password. And in Linux, you're not going to see your password when you type it in. They are very secretive about what they do. And you don't know if you've typed it incorrectly until you've typed it in incorrectly. So go ahead, type change directory /var www HTML. This will change you into your web directory. So if we go ls, we can see we have index.html. Now if I do a cat on the index.html, there's my document. Cool, whatever. Let's clear that out. Next, what you can see is I have two directories already here. If we go back to the documentation, what it recommends is when you do a local test environment server, this is found again in 7.3, that you need to create an upload.php file. Now I've gone ahead and I've changed the upload directory to a files directory. Why? It's a little bit shorter and it makes more sense to me. And I've also changed upload.php to up.php. As for the index.php file, that's just so that you can manually upload files from your data logger to your web server. And I go ahead and do this. It's not needed, but it's a nice thing to have. Next, what we want to do is let's change into fuel cell. Let's check out to see what this is actually structured as, how it's set up. So we have, like it's recommended, the up.php, the index.php. Now, if I say cat up.php, notice again that like I've said, I've changed this from uploads to files. That's on a personal preference, but that's what I prefer, and I think it actually is easier to look at. Next, what we want to do is let's change into files real quick, because I've already actually logged data using a data logger to this. And there's the files. They come in as .ios and .gps. So the GPS files can be read by anyone, but that's not too big a deal. That's about 3 columns to map a vehicle wherever it's been. As for the .ios, which is the important information as to how you have the OBD configured, or possibly your custom DBC script and database configuration with maybe more signals than you would normally grasp for your custom vehicles, the iOSs are encrypted in a binary custom encryption. I have no idea how they're structured whatsoever. That's all on Hemdata's end. They have it configured, and you'd have to talk to them about it. So let's go ahead. Let's get out of this. And then let's copy the fuel cell directory to make a Honda_CRV directory. So I'm going to say CP and then -R, which means recursive. In other words, copy all subdirectory and files below that. And then we're going to say fuel cell. And we're going to copy it to Honda_CRV. So now if I list out my directories and all files, we see we have Honda_CRV. Now, if we do ls-l, cool, it's been duplicated. Now I want you to notice this has read-write permissions for root. We actually want it to be set up for www and the data. So this is the group and the user privilege. So we're going to have to actually change that out. But before we do that, let's go ahead and let's change into the Honda_CRV directory. And let's remove this directory files, remove all the subfiles in it, and then recreate the directory itself so that we have a clean slate to work with. So I'm going to say remove -R and then force, so recursion and force, and then say files. And then I'm going to mkdir, which is make directory, and call it files. So we do ls, and we can change into files now, and it's all cleared out. So let's change out of this, .. / 2 directories up. We have our Honda_CRV directory, ls-l. Now we want to change the permissions. So come over here. You're going to want to have to memorize these lines at least, or write them exactly as is. If you have an error with this when you cast the sudo, make sure you have sudo. In other words, super user do, change ownership, recursion, group, user, and then what directory you want to provide read-write access to. Go ahead and, I got a little lost. If you have an error with that, go ahead and remove the -R. Otherwise, if you don't encounter an error, likely it went through. So we changed that. Cool. Let's go ahead and let's run the same thing below, or the similar line below. And then if we do ls-l, well, it's still giving me that. Oh, it's because the Honda CRV. So I'll have to do the same thing for the Honda CRV directory if I want that. But I only actually wanted to provide read-write access to the files directory. So if I change into the Honda CRV directory, ls, and then I go ls-l, notice files has the same read-write permissions as the one above. So I can go ahead and exit out of this now. Everything's set up correctly. Next, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and test out our data logger. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the data logger down, we'll plug it into the vehicle, we'll have it run around for a bit, and then we'll come back here to the server to see if everything's logged correctly.